Sorry about that. Don't know what happened. Don't know why it's happening. But I've been sitting up here trying to get in so I can see you guys, so I can tell you about the book. So about the books, I'm sitting here playing with stuff, moving stuff around. For it says 12 minutes, so I do apologize. If I could cut that off, I would. I didn't even know it was running because I told it not to, but it did it anyway. So anyway, hi everybody. My name is Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the Business Plug, and tonight I want to talk to you about the book, the book that we're reading for the month of June. I told you that I was going to come on this weekend and tell you about chapters 1 through 4 because on June the 18th, he's actually going to allow me to interview him on Facebook. So I hope you'll tune in then. But let's talk about chapters 1 through 4. If you haven't read it, please get it. It's going to be a great book for you, teaching you how not to lose customers, right? And so, in reading the first chapter, in chapter 1, he talks about H to H. Like, how many of you have heard about business to business, which is B2B, or business to consumer, which is B2C? Well, he is challenging those two theories and saying we're not business to business or business to consumer. We're actually customers. We're actually business to humans, humans to humans. So he got H to H is what he's saying in chapter 1. And he talks about how when you're on a business and you're doing business, you can't leave your feelings and your emotions and everything aside. You can't, I know people say don't bring your business to work, don't bring your emotions to work and all of that. Well, we're humans. Everybody's human. You're a human, I'm a human. And so when we're doing business, we're still human and we're doing business with other humans. So that's where his whole philosophy about human to human comes in. If you are a business owner, don't think of you're doing business with a business. You're actually doing business with a human. So you are having human to human relationships. And I talked about people, your unsubscribes, your unfriends, your unfriends, your unfollows. Like, that's okay because what happens is human to human, sometimes we don't have the same core values or our personalities might not mesh. And in those cases, people leave. And it's okay that they leave, right? It's all about business. It's all because of business. It all happens because it's just a part of business. But the thing about it is when people leave, then other people come. So the thing about this is in order to get that you find the people that you're meant to work with, find the customers that will pay you for your prices and not try to order you down or have you give them a discount or a hookup or those type things. You have to think about how can you put a client acquisition system in place. That's the thing. So I just got a warning on my computer. This has been crazy. Hold on one minute. I don't know what's going on. It is crazy. This is craziness, y'all. But I'm still here. It is craziness. This is gonna be neat. This video is gonna need a lot of chopping because I'm telling you, it's crazy. It's technology. It's not me. I promise you. It's this. My computer wants me to buy a new one, and so it's taking me through some things. Getting back to where I was, I want to talk to you about the book. Now, the book is this book, right? Never Lose a Customer Again. And I told you that I was telling you about the first part, H to H theory, where he talks about you having a business relationship with another human instead of thinking about B2B or B2C, think about human to human. So the person you're talking to has feelings, has emotions, has a home life, has a business life, just like you do. So if you're trying to never lose a customer again, it pays you to pay attention to the 8 steps of the life cycle of a customer. And in our book here, it talks about the 8 different cycles and it tells you what they are. It also tells you how to deal with them because that's very important because you need to know how to deal with the 8 cycles. So I was talking about chapter 1, which is H to H. It talks about the human to human part of the customer life cycle. Then chapter 2 talks about Dr. McCann. Dr. McCann was a dentist. And the writer, Joey, he was having some kind of dental problem. And so he hated going. And when he finally decided to go, they had moved to a new city where he didn't know anyone. And somebody had referred him to Dr. McCann. And he was impressed because when he called her, she actually took his information and then sent him the paperwork and everything that he could do online. Not only that, she made sure that he didn't incur the kind of pain you normally get when you go to the dentist. And after that, even after that, he like when she was talking to him about the bill, he was like, "Oh, it takes an hour and a half because he had to have a root canal." Is what ended up having to happen, and have a crown put on. And normally, you go to the dentist one week and they drill some, and you come back, they drill some, and they drill some. If you ever had a root canal, like I had one, I've had four actually, and yeah, they're nothing to play with. But she made it where he could get everything took care of in an hour and a half. So he didn't have to come back. And she used 3D modeling. So it talks about the whole thing, the whole takeaway from chapter 2 is talking about putting in systems that make your clients have a better customer value on their customer value chain. Like what automation can you put in your business in order to make sure that your customers have a great experience? Because he was so enthused about her, he dedicated an entire chapter of his book to Dr. McCann. And he says that he even, and I'm going to ask him this when he comes on the 18th, but he said that he even refers to her even today, that he still refers people to her. So I'm gonna ask him about the Dr. McCann story. But I thought it was neat in that she not only after he got out of, had his crown done, the night before, the night of, one of her assistants called him and said, right about now, your anesthesia should be wearing off. So I want to make sure that you picked up your prescription and that you have taken one of your pills because otherwise you're going to have a bad night. And he was like, what? She called me to make sure I had my medication because she said the anesthesia would be wearing off and I would start feeling some discomfort. And he said, that's remarkable. That had never happened to him in a dental situation. And so he was like, her whole customer service, like she was making sure that she was reducing the customer burden. That's what it's called. It's called the customer burden. It's what customers go through after they've purchased with you. Like there is a part of, well, the whole thing is all through the value chain. You have to make sure that your customers are not having to do anything extra. Like they shouldn't have to come to your office early and fill out all the paperwork. If you can send the paperwork to them before they get there, and they can fill it out and send it to you, and you have it when they arrive, and you verify what you need as far as their insurance card or whatever. But you don't have to. They don't have to sit there for the extra 15 minutes doing the paperwork because it's already done. And then she explained the procedure to him where he could understand it, and she, answered all of his objections. Like when you're doing sales, the thing about it is you have to learn how can you respond to your customers' objections. Like even when you're doing marketing, a good idea is to think about all the reasons somebody doesn't want to work with you. Just think about all of them and then create ads, create responses, create posts that answers those objections. How can you answer the objections for people who would say, oh, it costs too much, right? Him going to her, and she may have been more, she was tech savvy, so I'm sure the price was different, but nobody minds paying more when they're getting more value. And that's the thing is you have to understand that when you invest in your business and you put technology in your business to make your customers' life easier, they get that. That's value. So just like Dr. McCann in chapter 2, I want you to think about what can you add to your customer's life cycle so that it makes them less stressed. It takes away the customer burden. Doing business with you is no longer a problem. And then how can you make their lives better? In those cases, they'll come back. And the second, chapter 3 was customers are leaving at an astounding rate. They looked at a survey and it said most businesses lose their customers in 30 days. So 30 days after your customer has visited you, they're gone. They're gone for whatever reason. And so they did a study to ask people why did they leave. And the majority of the time, the customers were leaving because the businesses did not make them feel special. And so when you don't make people feel special, they leave. And that's what happened. They left because they didn't feel like they were special. So therefore, I want you to think about how can you make your customers feel special? What can you do on their customer journey to make them feel special? And it's the 8 things that we're going to talk about in chapter 4. But in chapter 3, where we're at now, we're talking about how can you stop them from leaving? Like, how can you make it so they won't leave? That's what you need to think about. So that's chapter 3. Chapter 4 is about the eight sections, the 8 features of a customer life cycle. And they all begin with A's. The first one is assess. The second one is admit. The third one is affirm. The fourth one is activate. And the fifth one is acclimate. The sixth one is accomplish. The seventh one is adopt. The 8th one is advocate. And this makes all 8 of them. These are the 3 phases that apply to your customer's journey. And so when we meet again, and my technology is not acting like it is tonight, we're going to talk about those 8 things. We're going to peel this book apart. So that's chapters 1 through 4 of Never Lose a Customer Again by Joey Coleman. I hope you'll go on this journey with me. So we'll be talking about chapters 5 through 9, chapters 5 through 9, because he's going to be here on the 18th. And so we have to get this book read so we can have an intelligent conversation with him. We can't just be talking about the front part of the book. We need to talk about the whole book. So go ahead and get yours if you haven't already. It makes a great read. My name is Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the business plug, and I'm plugging you into Never Lose a Customer Again by Joey Coleman. He's going to be with us on the 18th, and you don't want to miss this. This is going to be fun. You guys have a great night. And I will pair up this video and fix it because technology and me, we have had a time today. Have a great one. Bye, y'all. Hey, hello.